I was requested to do a tutorial on how I color my hair. I'm not quite sure why people would want me to teach them how to color hair because my shading is wrong and yeah. But anyway, let's start. The following tutorial is for Sai users, pretty much because I don't know how to use Photoshop. First of all, I don't know how many of you care about this, but these are my brush settings for everything when I shade and color. You actually only need a blendy brush that has a small minimum size so you can work into the details, like make really detailed brush strokes. Basically anything that doesn't have a blunt end is okay. The other thing that I think you might need to know is about the fringe function that's underneath the tab beside the effect. What fringe does is basically giving your brush strokes an edge, so it's more defined, and you can set levels from 1 to I don't know how much. It just depends on how hard the fringe you'd like it to be. Another thing that I didn't mention that you'd probably need in this tutorial is the transparent color. It's located between the two colors that you see. It's that little box thingy. What it does is that it basically turns the brush that you're using into an eraser. So first of all, when I color my hair, I choose a light and usually unsaturated color as the base color. Then what I do is that I use a new layer, set it on multiply, and of course have the fringe function on. Then I pretty much just use my brush and make strokes of hair in places that I think the hair should look dark, and of course where the hair comes from. Usually I put less shading in the middle part of the hair because that's usually where the hair has light, or the lighter parts anyway. So here I'm using the transparent color to erase parts that I don't think should be dark, and in the process I create strokes that looks like hair, I guess. I'm not sure, I don't really know what I'm doing 90% of the time. But it's like painting, so you add more color in places that you think the hair should be, and you erase colors that you don't think it should be. Yep. So after this, I changed the colors because I didn't think that it looked right. Then I got a new layer and did the same thing. Set on multiply, had the fringe function on, and added more colors to the places that I think should be darker. Usually I don't do this in most of my pieces, but when it's something that I want it to be detailed, more refined, or prettier, I do this, and by doing this it adds more depth to the hair and shading. Afterwards, I used another new layer, which you'll see in a moment, and I set it on luminosity. What I do here is that I add the brighter parts of the hair, and afterwards I used the transparent color again to erase parts, to blend it into the hair and such. Of course I lowered the opacity because I found it too bright. Then I overlaid an another color to make the hair brighter. Sometimes I'm just too lazy, and in this example, after filling in the base colors, what I did was just block colors in places that I think should be shaded. Of course, begin multiplying with the fringe function on. Then use the transparent color and erased or blended parts that I think shouldn't be that dark away. And at the same time, because the fringe function defines your strokes, it makes it look like hair streaks. Sometimes when I'm not lazy, I use a smaller brush to do hair strokes like here. As you can see, I don't really know what I'm really doing, I just do whatever that looks right. Oh, and sometimes when you think you're, like, if you make your canvas too big, or if you think that the strokes aren't really defined enough, you can increase the level of the fringe setting, so your strokes can be seen more easily, or at least hair streaks should be seen more easily. Yeah. As you can see, I keep changing the colors here, so it's definitely alright if you want to change your colors. Here, instead of doing the method I did with the Cry Snowbender Please, I just use watercolor gradients as shading. This piece right now is Alba. He has gradient hair, so in the beginning I had to make a small gradient on the top of his hair with a watercolor brush. Then I pretty much just did the same thing with the fringe, multiply, and color whatever I think is right. Then add the shiny parts and luminosity. So here's some of the closer looks at the hair that I colored earlier. Yeah. So thanks for watching, and I hope that this tutorial somewhat helped.
And if you'd like to see more of my stuff, you could find me in the following sites. I'm on Tumblr as Genty, and I'm also on Twitter as Genty, but with an underscore in front. Other than that, I'm also on DaveAndArt as Genty. Yeah, I know, Genty. But on YouTube, I'm known as Kemi Nips, which is here. So have a good day. Yep, bye.